Everybody, it's Jason with Parallel Reality coming back with you today with an article from Red State dated August 18th. And it says, Newt Gingrich said, ask yourself 2 questions every time you hear one of Kamala Harris's empty promises. So let's see what the former Speaker of the House had to say. So to hear presumptive Democrat Party presidential nominee Kamala Harris talk, you'd think that for nearly 4 years she hasn't been the vice president of the most disastrous administration in at least modern U.S. history. Yet, there she is, out on the stump, promising to fix this and solve that, as if she hasn't been up to her eyeballs in what she's promising to fix and solve. She must not be let off that hook. As writing an opinion piece Sunday for Fox News, former House Speaker Newt Gingrich laid out a simple formula for holding Harris's feet to the fire all the way to Election Day. Gingrich kicked off his op-ed by referring to the last time the Democrat National Convention was held in Chicago, 56 years ago in 1968. And this article actually it said it was on the 18th. So this came out the first day of the convention. At the time I'm recording this, the convention is over. So let's just kind of continue here. But just to let you know, it says in 1968, a deeply split Democratic Party found its convention surrounded by thousands of militant anti-Vietnam War demonstrators. What would later be called a police riot exploded, and tear gas drifted from Grant Park into the convention center, and the American people watched what was essentially a civil war within the Democratic Party on live television. Richard Nixon, the Republican presidential nominee, found himself much closer to the presidency at the end of that week. And of course, as probably everybody knows, Nixon went on to win the election. And this year, wrote Newt, the Kamala Harris, Tim Walz team is hoping for a much quieter and more successful convention. Well, like I said, it wasn't. I don't think it was like the 1968 one, but it wasn't exactly quiet. This is their issueless theme has been captured in recent articles about the so-called politics of joy. The great challenge for Vice President Harris and her team is that the politics of joy will be completely tone deaf for many Americans. According to Real Clear Politics, 65% of Americans say our country is on the wrong track. Only 25% say we are moving in the right direction. This isn't exactly joyful given Harris is the current vice president. So if your family budget is squeezed by the 20% price increases under the Joe Biden-Harris administration, you are not likely feeling joyful. If you have no hope of buying a home because Biden-Harris policies have made it too expensive, you have no joy. If your loved one was killed in the disastrous collapse in Afghanistan, you don't feel joyful. If your community is overrun with illegal immigrants allowed in under the Biden-Harris open border policy, you don't likely have a great sense of joy. If you are worried about the threat to Israel's survival and the rise of anti-Semitism on college campuses and in the Democratic Party, you don't have much joy. If you consider Walz's failure to bring in the National Guard during the Minnesota riots in 2020, or Harris's effort to help bail out the rioters, you are not likely joyful. So it says, in other words, if you live in the world of reality, Kamala's politics of joy bite for you and your family. That is correct. So that virtually every level of American life, the practical results of Harris and Walz's politics of joy are angering Americans and killing their joy, Newt asserted. Toss in almost 4 years of Biden-Harris, and here we are. As the former speaker suggested, a simple way to hold Harris accountable for her past actions and non-actions is in the ballot box. As you hear each new false promise and nice-sounding agenda item, you should ask yourself 2 simple questions. 1, why haven't they implemented them over the last 4 years? 2, and why should we believe they would now? Both are fantastic questions, and everybody should be asking that. It says those 2 questions will reveal how phony and staged the entire Democratic National Convention will be, and it was, yeah. I mean, I saw clips. I didn't watch it because I didn't want to hear just lies being spewed at me the entire time, and it was just going to piss me off. So I spent time watching other things that I like. But these are the 2 questions right here. So the article continues, says, bingo, Harris was the last person in the room when Joe launched his disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal. Did she object to the way it was implemented? And if not, why not? Where was Harris as Biden continued to unleash Bidenomics on America, steadily driving gas prices, the cost of goods and services across the board, and ultimately the ever-rising price of groceries? Did she object along the way? If not, why not? And why should we believe her now, other than when she promises communist price controls? And if you're out there and you don't know what that is, go look it up. It's not good. And also, if you want to see how they affect an economy when there are not price controls, go look at what Javier Milei did in Argentina when he removed them and see what happened there. Let's just say things got really good, and they were not good for Argentina beforehand, and they're just not good in general. It says Gingrich used Harris's flip-flop on fracking as a perfect example. Good example is Harris's brand new position on fracking. She has always said she opposed fracking, but now that she needs to carry Pennsylvania, which has 2 of the 4 largest natural gas fields in the world, she has suddenly softened her position. Which Harris do you believe? The old San Francisco radical who has always been for the Green New Deal and against fracking, or the new vote-hungry candidate eager to say whatever you need to hear to her, what you need to hear to get your vote? This Newt suggested we should all watch the Democrat National Convention when it begins in Chicago on Monday. Again, recording this after the convention is already over. Says the Democratic National Convention in Chicago will be worth every American watching, simply as an exercise in detecting hypocrisy. You will learn how much more radical they are than anyone you know, and I think we did find that out at this point, as you will see just how much they are willing to lie to get your vote, which they certainly did. Says you will be able to decide for yourself if the Democratic National Convention represents the politics of joy, or the same old radical left-wing baloney disguised by the propaganda media. So I'm going to give it a shot, Newt, but I can't make any promises. Yeah, and again, it comes down to just these 2 questions right here. And he was very much right about that. Just so if you're someone that's either on the fence or you're a pro-Kamala person and you're hearing all the stuff that she says she's going to do, this is what you should be asking yourself. Why haven't they implemented these policies over the last 4 years? Because remember, she is in office right now and can do these things. And 2, why should we believe that they're going to do them now when they haven't? So there you go. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Did you watch the DNC? What did you think about it? But do you agree with Newt Gingrich and what he said below? Let me know. Like, share, subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.